I'm Nicole Cheslock, Director of Education and Outreach with the Tahoe Maritime Museum, and excited to welcome you to our new building here. We've got a 5,800 square foot building modeled after an old historic Tahoe boathouse. It's designed by Truckee-based architecture firm Cox & Chromitis. And just to give you a little preview, we've got a big open space, a lot of sunlit spaces, exposed steel beams and woodwork. And this is really our new place to showcase the rich history of Tahoe with an emphasis on maritime history here. So we have a variety of boats throughout the decades of the 19th century, as well as a pretty extensive collection of outboard motors, one of the largest on the West Coast. What you'll see on this wall behind me is a selection from various decades. There'll even be a hand-crank motor here for kids and adults to simulate what it was like to be back in the early 1900s. So we're really excited about our grand opening celebration, which takes place Memorial Day weekend, and we will have programs throughout the summer and year for people, including guided tours of the museum on Saturdays and Sundays, as well as the Living History Day, which we do every July, which we step back in time and have a lot of activities for kids, as well as an old Hicks engine on display and different exhibits. In our opening exhibit, we basically have around the pier a selection of boats, starting with the dollar family donation of Vendite, an old sailboat that was used in San Francisco junior yachting program, the junior sailing program, and Miss Tessa, a little 1930s gem, as well as boats from the oldest running Chris Craft, Godfathers, 1922 Chris Craft, and a boat from the 40s and 50s. We're on the second floor of the Tahoe Maritime Museum. I'd like to showcase a couple of things that visitors will see when they come up here. One is this old workbench donated by our board member Don Smith, and it shows a lot of tools that are still used in woodworking today. Things like planes, evidence of little bungs that were cut. In addition to this exhibit, we have information on the various elements of rebuilding a boat, showing different types of wood and wood throughout the process, as well as a boat simulator, which is going to be installed shortly. The boat simulator will allow people to sit in a boat, hold on to a steering wheel, and see images of Lake Tahoe. And one of our most exciting pieces that showcases the first boat in our collection at Shanghai, the only boat that hasn't been refinished. And Shanghai was found in about 400 feet of water, just off the coast of the West Shore. And it was discovered by a company in Davis who was working on some underwater robotics. They came across the boat and contacted the museum, thinking we might be interested in helping bring it to life again. And Shanghai is hanging off of our second floor, so you can see her both from the bottom and up close when you come up here. So the new museum really showcases some of the treasures that we have from Tahoe boating history, as well as Tahoe history itself. There's a whole area dedicated to kids' activities. We'll have arts and crafts for kids of various ages, as well as science experiments and neat things from knot tying walls to building model boats to decorating sailor hats and things of that nature. Stewardship is really important to the Tahoe Maritime Museum. We'll have one exhibit in our opening exhibits that's focused on the clarity of Lake Tahoe and stewardship of the lake. So that'll include information on invasive species and what boaters can do to be conscientious about boating on Lake Tahoe.
My name is Bill Krause, and I'm the Executive Director of the Tahoe Maritime Museum. I'd like me to talk a little bit about the museum. We're poised to open our beautiful new building in Homewood, California that features the maritime history of the Lake Tahoe Basin from the late 1800s to the 1940s or so. What's very interesting is most people don't realize that Tahoe has a very rich maritime history, and it provides an excellent backdrop on which to understand the socioeconomic history of the whole basin. I think what's also very exciting is the movement of museums in the 21st century. Typically, in the past, museums have been seen as simply preservers of artifacts and objects. There's been a trend in the last few decades where museums actually have taken a more active role in education. And rather than simply just being preservers and displayers of objects, they've actually used the objects as illustrations of grand social and historical concepts. And we really feel that we fit into that mold in this museum. That if you look around us, you may not be interested in outboard motors per se, but if you look at the wide variety of outboard motors we have hanging on the wall here, you see some beautiful examples of industrial design from the different decades. If you look at some of our boats and the various designs of the hulls and the shapes of the boats, you have some basic scientific principles illustrated there, and beautiful craftsmanship. We have a very active education program. We are focused on families, and we are very excited about what the coming year and the future will bring.